let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. Conversations that cool. Kitchen talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. Conversations that cool. Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Listen, I am so excited to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes. So this is Kitchen Talk. CTC is Conversations That Cook.
Okay.
Um, so my guys are out
Oh.
this week. So it'll be me and you, but Precious, I think we can do it. I think we can hold it down. We may have one more guest joining us in a little bit. So, but you know, girls run the world, so I think we'll be
Yes.
all right.
I agree. I
I
think we'll be
think we'll be all right. So, we've been doing this for a little while.
good.
At the beginning of 2022, we hit our 100th episode. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was really great. It was really great.
Exciting.
So I love this, and um we used to be on FAMU TV 20, and then we were on Fox 49, and then we had the pandemic. So it slowed us down about this much, and we decided to do a virtual show. So we took it, to virtual on Thursdays at 9 o'clock, and we've been riding that since June of 2020. Yeah, June, July of 2020. So it's been really, really cool. So welcome everybody that's watching. This is Precious Johnson, one of my special LLC students that I had a chance to meet and get to know and hang out with last year, and she's still rocking it. So, Precious, you are probably graduating next
I am
fall.
this spring, actually.
No,
Yes, ma'am.
it's in May, April, May.
May 5th and 6th. hmm
Wait, that was too soon.
That was it wasn't so fast. I just got here. For y'all who don't know, I just came to FAMU this past fall, so fall 2021. I got my A in high school, so now I'll be graduating this spring of 2023.
Wow. Hey, Vet.
Hi.
So I do remember that you did come in because we had a little, can she get in? Can she not get in? Is she a freshman? Is she not a freshman? Is she first time in college? Is she not a first time in college? So I was so glad that we did get you into the LLC, which was really great because you're such a leader.
Thank
I didn't
you.
know it was gonna be that quick.
Yes,
Wow.
it is very quick.
And so you haven't even turned 21 yet, have you?
Have not just turned
And you
20.
got to graduate with your BA. Wow. Wow. What's next for you?
I actually applied for Texas Southern for their communications department to get my master's, as well as Florida State. I've been accepted to both programs, and I got a full ride to Texas Southern. So that's where I think I'm
Of
going.
course you do.
So I think that's where I'm going. Soon I've already went to Texas just to be like the city and the school in Houston, and I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. So
Houston is nice. Houston is nice.
It is. And so I'm going back sometime in the future just to look at like, housing options, whether I do like student housing or stay on campus. Just trying to figure it out because I'm still young. Like I'm still 20. So technically like
Right.
age, I'm still a sophomore, junior in college. So I still want to have that experience for the next 2 years in Texas. So we'll see.
Wow. And how is your mom feeling about this?
My mom, she's a little hi.
Hi,
What's up, y'all? I'm a little late. My bad. My bad.
My mom, she's handling it. I don't know how my mom. We went to Texas together, and I think that she feels a little better now because we have people up there. Well, not up there, but over there.
Amari? Mhm.
So she's feeling a little bit better, but it's definitely gonna be a little culture shock for her because from Daytona to Tally is not too bad, but
Yeah, but way over to Texas.
yeah, it's
Woo.
different.
JT,
Yo,
how are you?
I'm good. Everybody all right?
We good. We good. So, also joining us is Omari Shaheed.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up? What's up? Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
Omari is another one of our LLC students who came in as like taking the hill by storm.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you
Always.
gotta do.
Even if you got to ruffle a couple of feathers.
Hey, man, had to ruffle a few.
Yeah.
So, Omari, how are things going with you?
Uh, I mean, it's bumps and smoothness on the hill. Just taking it day by day. Got a lot of wins, got a lot of losses, but I just take it personally. Try to do as much as I can while I'm here. Try to influence, help as many people as I can, while still staying true to myself. Representing my city. You
Sure.
know,
Chicago, come on.
yeah, but
Come
I'm
on.
enjoying it. My reign with the Royal Court is coming to an end, but I'm picking up new roles, and it's just gonna get better from here. So,
Are you doing SGA stuff too?
SGA is not really my thing. I was supposed to
Okay.
be running a campaign right now, but it's some stuff happening, so I might still be running the campaign. Like I said, it's bumps in the road always, but
That's life.
yeah,
Right.
I'm going through OL training right now though, so. For the summer, I'll be doing, orientation leader.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
come on. Come on.
I can see you doing that,
No,
definitely.
that's gonna eat. That's gonna eat.
Yeah, so just trying to leave a legacy for myself.
I know that's right. Come on now.
Good. I'm so proud of y'all.
It's always good to see the young ones doing their thing.
I know,
Yes,
right?
sir.
I feel like the proud auntie.
Yeah.
JT, is that a McDowell's hat?
it is a McDowell's. See, this week I'm on the fries.
This
I'm
week
on
you on the prize.
the watching lettuce.
Oh my goodness. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. JT is one of our uh original co-hosts. So we've been at this for a minute.
A long time. A long time.
We've been
Long
at this for a minute. So what I wanted to talk about tonight, we've been talking about love and hearts and all this week. February is just a month of a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I also wanted to get into Black History Month. So, like, who are our heroes? How are we celebrating? And I thought that my thought was for this year to tap into Gen Z and see, what are you guys doing or even think about? Like, is Black History still something you guys celebrate? Or do you just like it's 365 for us, or just different things like that. So let's start with heroes. So, or sheroes. So I would say definitely one of my sheroes, especially after seeing the movie, is Harriet Tubman. And mostly because I found out that she was just 5 feet tall. So that really, I was like, that's what I'm talking about right now. That's how you do that.
Miss Lorraine.
I'm just saying.
The five is crazy.
She, she well, you got a root for vertically challenged people, huh?
I'm just, oh, ain't nothing challenging about my verticals.
Verticals is crazy.
So, but just the tenacity that it took to do what she did, and the commitment, and the not even giving thought to her own kind of life. Like, as a short person, sometimes you be like, well, I might not can't do that. I'm still walking in the grocery store, like asking people if I could borrow their height to, to get stuff off the shelf. And here she is, like leading hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people to freedom. That is like that. It opened my eyes to a new look at her
Mm.
in that way. In that way. So, all right. So who's next? All right, Omar. You don't have to raise your hand, baby. Jump on in
Because
there.
I ain't want to cut nobody off. I ain't want to cut nobody off. But a personal hero for me. Excuse the noise in the background because I'm in BOP right now. But a personal hero for me, as far as Black History Month, I'm gonna give an old and a new one. So my current one around is always pretty much going to be LeBron James. I think he faced a lot of adversity as a person, not even just as an athlete. Knowing his history, knowing his background, and continuing, a lot of people consider him the greatest basketball player of all time, and a lot of athletes get wrapped up. Shake your head. A lot of athletes get wrapped up in that. They live their life through sports, but he continues to be an actor for the community, be a family man publicly, openly, and so that's just something I respect, and just somebody that cares more for what's going on in the world. And,
Mm,
back then, or not back then, but one of elder, uh, my elder inspirations is Malcolm X.
mm,
I think we have similar, personality types and methodologies, of as far as like doing what it takes. And last month I got the opportunity to go see the Kinsey collection, the family's Rattlers. They have a collection of like
mm-hmm,
artifacts in
mm-hmm,
LA, and I went with the Royal Court and I seen a letter from like an authentic letter from Malcolm X to
mm.
his assistant, and the letter was basically addressing that he was basically saying that he needs to get his autobiography finished now because he thinks his life is in danger. He knows people is coming from him. That's basically what he said in the letter. It had
Wow.
his signature and everything on it. So just looking back, like that's a crazy life to live and to still do what you do, knowing that your life is in danger.
Oh, we lost him. We lost. Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay, okay. But to still do what you do, knowing your life is in danger, is a tough job. So that's
And
my.
that is so real, especially for our forefathers and our ancestors. It really was life or death for them. It really was. That is so true. And for him to face that adversity from like both sides, like the people he's supposed to be working with and the people that's working against him. That's just that's like double. Like, where did I sometimes wonder, where did he find any peace or comfort? But I think it was probably in his family, in his wife, and in his children, where he was able to find some peace and comfort. Precious, what you got?
Okay, so mine are a little bit mine I have like people who are like more like my family and close to me, and then on top of that I'll have like just people who are like professionals and things of the sort. So like people close to me, of course I'm gonna say like all the women in my life, for sure. My grandmother, my mother, my like my mentors, like all the Black women in my life have always, who have been close to me, have always been strong, who are, in
Mm,
a sense of they've always had the capability to do greatness. They've always done greatness. They've always been the type of people to always not really push themselves to greatness, but push others to be great. And that's something that I was brought up on. That's something that I strive to do for others, but also just to be like a light in people's life. Um, from my cheer coaches to mentors to parents to grandparents, cousins, all that. And I start like as I'm getting older, I'm starting to see how all of that has impacted not only me but my other cousins who are now like some of them are who are with me now. Who I have one cousin who goes to FAM now, and we're like looking at our lives and kind of like, dang, like these people really inspired us. Um, and they really made us who we are today, and we're forever grateful for it. Like anytime we go back home, we always tell grandmother how grateful we are for her, because it's just like they really pushed us to be who we are. Like I don't think I'd be in this predicament with this mindset, with this type of capabilities and the willpower to do certain things without them. So I always give grace to them and God, because without them I wouldn't be who I am. Outside of that, like women that have inspired me outside of my family, I would definitely say Gina Prince by the Wood. She's a film director. And I've recently found interest in actually a career field in film. So it's something that I've now wanted to start doing, with showcasing Black life, Black art, Black excellence through film and through production. So with that, she's just amazing. Like from Love and Basketball to all the other movies that she's produced and directed, it's just like, yeah, she has the capability. And like Issa Rae, she has the capability to, she not only does it, but she exemplifies in it. Like she kills it, whatever that she does, and she makes it so like put together, so neat that nobody can ever knock that. And that's something that like I want to strive to become. And I feel like women who've used art to showcase their power within the world. So I said like Nina Simone, Billie Holiday, Stranger Fruit, those type of songs, things of that nature. They use their art to showcase how they were feeling within society. And they used it to not only push themselves, but push their people. Aretha Franklin, all those women of caliber that use their talent, they use their gift to not only build themselves, but build their community. That's something that I hope to strive for. I hope to become. I hope to be when I leave this earth. I hope that's something that people can say like she used her gift to not only uplift herself but the people around her in her community, because that's something that I was built upon and that I strive for. So I think those are all my heroes. Those are all people that inspire me and give me the strength to keep going.
Nice. I like the fact that you mentioned Aretha Franklin, because some of the stuff I hate that we don't learn about them until they're gone. Like she was a for real advocate, like money where the mouth is kind of advocate. So yeah, and different ones, and definitely our family members and the things that they have gone through and everything. So yeah, that's really cool. Really cool. And you do have to pay homage to your ancestors, to your aunts and your uncles and your grandmas, all of that. JT, what you got? With your McDowell's hat on. Hey, friends.
Hello.
Hey, Brother Ford.
What's up, friend?
How you great people doing? JT Money.
Yo.
JT, what you got?
Miss Johnson, how y'all doing today?
What's up?
Good.
These are my wonderful Friendly Moist. These are my wonderful LLC students from last year, 2 of them. And that Precious Johnson is trying to graduate already.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. That's what it should be.
Yeah. Don't stay at FAMU never.
Yeah. You get in,
She
get
is
out.
doing it. She is doing it. She came in halfway through.
Yes.
And did not waste any time.
Omar, you need to step up the gas.
Hey, I gotta enjoy my time here. I'm trying to get all 4. I'm trying to get all 4.
I know that's right.
One undergrad.
Get all 4, Omar. Get all 4.
No, that's right.
But now you got to get out after 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm only doing 4. But I want all of them. I want every
All
second.
of them. I don't blame you. Enjoy them while you can. So, Francie, tonight we were talking about Black History Month. So we're celebrating our this is our Black History Month show, and I was thinking, and as we went through it, and I was like, we should talk to Gen Z, about how they're viewing or feeling about Black History Month. So what we were doing was kind of going through our heroes and sheroes. JT was about to tell us about Akeem. No, I'm just playing.
No, but a few of my heroes, of course, with me being a thespian, I love Denzel Washington, man, and not just because he's an actor, but because some of the things that he's done in the community as well,
Mm-hmm.
reach other people get come up. I saw what he did for Chadwick Boseman. I also saw what he did for Omari Hardwick. He helped them get on. And Denzel, if you're watching, brother, go ahead and holler at me. Get me. Another one is Samuel Jackson. I love Samuel Jackson because Samuel Jackson taught us power. There is power in the word mother flipper. This that's not, but not just for that reason, but I like that Samuel Jackson has shown how he has overcome in the acting world. He was really a crackhead when he did Jungle Fever. Samuel Jackson,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
he was really on crack.
Oh snap! Wait a minute.
You can Google it. It's out there, public information. You can Google it.
Wow.
I don't know if y'all Gen Z has seen Jungle Fever,
Yeah.
but yeah, but
Omar, like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, I do. I know what y'all talking about.
yeah,
Wow.
I'm a huge Spike Lee fan. And Spike Lee, I like Spike Lee because he's one of my heroes because he's known to educate you through his films.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Is some of them got a little coonery in it, but he's known for whatever he adds to the film is there to educate you.
Mm-hmm.
A few more. It's a book that I'm reading, Soul on Ice by Eldridge Cleaver. Love that brother. His everything that he's going through with the Black Panthers and everything, his teachings and whatnot, I'm starting to learn a lot more about what the Black Panthers stood for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm enjoying this book. It's a real good book. It's old, but I think it's worth the read. Another dude, huh?
Oh, I was just gonna go off of what you were saying with Black Panthers. I think a lot of people we know about what they do with police reform and things and such, but I don't think they speak more about what they actually do with the community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people have y'all ever seen the movie Panther? There was a movie that was made called Panther by Melvin Van Peebles. It didn't get a lot of play because it wasn't pushed like it should have been pushed because Hollywood wanted to take the film over, and he told them hell no because he knew what they were about to do and they were going to whitewash his movie and change some stuff on the script. But I think that movie hit it dead on the head. It talked about all of the things that they did in the community, and a lot of people didn't realize that the Black Panthers had to be educated before they even joined the Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
You had all of them, you had to know the laws and everything else before you could even join. But the Black Panthers got a bad rap. Of course, they tried to make it seem like it was a terrorist group. But if you're able to watch the movie, you should watch that movie. But those are just a few of my heroes. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, Francie, it's your turn.
Of course. But I do want to hear at least one of the Gen Zs.
Ain't nobody going back for you.
Oh, I missed it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna watch it back again because we do record
you gotta
it.
watch the
As
show.
I
You
go
gotta
back
watch
again.
the show. I'm just playing. If they Precious, you want to tell them one of yours?
Omar, you could go. Go ahead.
All right. My first one was LeBron James, basically because he treats his life as more than an athlete, you know, and advocates for the community. When truthfully, people like that, most people like that, or most, especially celebrities, like, I think people underestimate the amount of fame people like LeBron and Michael Jordan have in the world. Like, these people have more social media traction than presidents. And so, with their platform, a lot of times, all they do is talk about sports with all this traction. And he uses it a lot to talk about, problems, family, things going on in our community, things going on in different communities. So I respect that a lot. And I try to implement some of those behaviors in myself. And then my second one, as far as like an ancestor, ancestor seems like such an old term, but it's really just somebody passing away. But as far as the ancestor was Malcolm X, for him doing not only what he thought was right for himself and his community, but doing whatever it takes. Sometimes people are afraid to be the villain when somebody always has to be the villain, and he knew he had to be the villain to get what it was done. So I respect that about him.
Was he the villain though?
To
Depending on
That's
who
Biden.
you ask.
he yeah, it depends on who you ask. To a lot of people, not only to non-violent people, but to people that truly don't know his story, he was not. He was a villain. He was the villain in that situation. Because people always compare him to Martin Luther King. So he wasn't a villain holistically, but in that situation, he's ridiculed a lot. And he knew he was going to get ridiculed from that because he got ridiculed when he was making those decisions. He knew nobody else was going to do it. And so it needed to be done.
I think he was. I agree. I think that he was looked at as an enemy in society, but I think it's because the society in which we lived in looked down upon blacks becoming mentally like capable and strong and knowing our stuff and knowing that you can't. Sometimes peace is not always going to be the answer. Sometimes you have to match fire with fire in order to get something accomplished and done. And that's what he did. He stood on all 10 toes and went to work. And they didn't like what he was doing because it was actually creating change.
I guess that's why the government.
Ooh, I like what you're talking. Miss Johnson, who you got? Who?
Okay, so mine were it was like half personal, half like professional. So I said my personals, my heroes were my mother and my grandmother, all the strong women in my life who have exemplified what the true definition of not only pushing yourself for excellence but pushing others to excellence. And I just strive to become that. I strive to continue to be that. And I always pay homage to them and God for allowing me to become who I am and always just teaching me the ropes of life. I feel like I've gained so much knowledge from all of them, from my mentors to my grandmother to my mom to my aunts and to my cheer coaches. They've all become family in my household, and so they've all taught me something, and I'm grateful for that forever and always. And I said professionally, I had brought up Gina Prince by the Wood, the director and the film director, and I had talked about how I felt as if like she showcased like Black life, Black excellence through film, and that's something that I want to do and aspire to, make sure that I project within like my work. But also, I said Nina Simone as well as Billie Holiday because they took art and they showcased their ability to uplift their people and uplift their selves through that art and make sure that our people come together and realize, the inequality and unjust things that were going on and fought against it. So those were my people.
Love it. Love it.
So you want to be a filmmaker?
I do. It's crazy because like that naturally came out of nowhere. Literally out of actually nowhere because that was not a part of the plan. Mr. Ray can attest. Oh, you over here, Miss. I don't know which way my hands are going.
You're going the right way.
There we go. Okay. There we go. I hope I did it right. But
you surprised me with that. I was like, oh, I didn't know that one.
It came out of nowhere because I had an internship, and within the internship, they had me doing film, and then it was like crazy. I just fell in love with it. And then ever since then, I've just been like, I don't. It's been like a passion that I didn't even know I had. And like those moments where you realize you have like that's what you want to do. Like people, a lot of times like, as young adults, we'll say that we want to do stuff until we actually do it, and then we like, nah, that's not what we want to do for real. And then when you really do it and you start really like feeling it, you're like, yeah, this is it. So yeah,
Right.
that's what.
Free. I am an actor.
Okay.
Shameless plug.
Right.
But that's what you got to do. JT, stay in the game. Denzel's watching. Denzel's watching. We need
Absolutely.
I'm a history guy, and as my colleagues can attest, I love past, present, and future. So Omar, when you brought up LeBron James, immediately I thought of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because he started that real push to educate Black people about their history, right? So it's not just the game and playing basketball. He's literally wrote books about it. So if you haven't read his book, definitely get his book. Definitely a good read. We could easily go to Malcolm X, MLK, but I wanted to go a little bit off the cuff with some great giants like John H. Johnson. Do you guys know who he is, Precious or Omar? You know who John H. Johnson is?
I'm gonna say no.
Omari.
Brother, without knowing, just find out. That's all.
Yeah. Another good book to read is his life story. He's the creator of Ebony magazine. Probably one of the first. I can't say one of the first. Wealthiest, one of the wealthiest Black men in America, but he was definitely well known, and wealth was not a problem. So he literally created an industry out of sheer grit. So he's another great story. Vernon Thomas. I might know him as the surgeon.
Oh, shoot.
Like he was essentially a cornerstone in heart surgery. So he was like the guy who helped create modern.
Was he the, blood infusion guy?
No, that's Charles Drew.
Right.
And I love his story as well. If you haven't heard of his story, that's the thing about Black people, man. We everywhere. You can think about it that there. It is American history. So Vernon was a lab assistant who was literally a heart surgeon. And the only reason he didn't become a heart surgeon was because of the money. But he literally trained heart surgeons how to do heart transplants. He literally created tools and all type of things. So anybody going into any type of heart or heart transplant, they got to know his stuff. He's just that entwined with heart surgery and heart helping people who have heart defects. But he didn't get his just due because he didn't have the money to go to school. So they, used him as a assistant. They learned as much as they could from him. They didn't say, hey, we can help you get this to the next level and become a surgeon. Nah. But he was.
It wasn't just the money.
Of course, definitely. And there's a movie about him too. So Precious, you might.
Most Def.
Yes, Most Def played him, and wonderful movie. Well played. I gotta bring in Nat Turner. Man, if you have not seen what's the name of this movie?
Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation. If you have not seen Birth of a Nation, it's a must see. It's a
I
must
still
see.
haven't seen it. It's on the shelf, but I have not seen it yet.
I mean, just the grit,
I don't know.
the
It's
realness.
like I want to see it, but I don't want to be mad. So
that too. But you gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it. And then we can't talk about Black history without talking about Toussaint Louverture. So we got to talk about Toussaint Louverture, one of the architects of the Black Revolution, the Black liberator, literally not just of Haiti, but of several other countries, including the United States. So, sometimes when we talk about Black history and Black heroes, we miss out on so many people because I don't know. I think it's our culture. I think it's society. We kind of focus in on some of the juggernauts.
Part of it is the programming and the education. So we're only going to get so much unless we do our own classes and our own research and our own digging. Then a lot of times we don't get that. We don't hear about the inventors because we were the ones doing the work. So of course we're inventing ways to make work easy, to make work easier, and things like that. So, but we're not going to hear about that. I remember pretty much, growing up, you heard about Martin Luther King and, his nonviolence, and you heard about Rosa Parks.
Malcolm
By the way, have y'all seen The Rebellious Life of Rosa Parks?
No, I haven't. We talked about that last week. I said I got to catch it.
Oh, yeah, you need to see it. Yeah. Like, if you get a chance, you definitely need to see it. It's stuff in there that I never knew about her because the only thing we were told was, she sat on the bus and she refused to give up her seat. And even that story was messed up because some people say, they say all kind of stuff. She was tired. That's why she didn't get up. She said she never told nobody she was tired.
She had Nikes instead of Reeboks. But
the thing too is like her story. I know there's some other people like that. If they did a movie on Coretta Scott King,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like, do we really know?
Sure.
Her plight and the things that she went through,
or Betty Shabazz. I mean,
yes, correct.
And the children, and just the whole lot of it. But here's another question I wanted to know especially from GenZ. Like, do you all feel like Black history is still something that needs to be celebrated? Do you feel like it's still relevant?
I'll let Precious go first.
I was just about to say, do I think Black history is something? Oh, of course. That's hands down. That's not even a question for me. I always think that's relevant and needed, especially like with our students, with the young kids. Like, we need to start teaching them young our history so then they know it and not playing catch up. I think that is very necessary because if you don't know your history, you're not going to know yourself. Because that's the main point. If you don't know you're never gonna hit that Afrocentric mindset or understanding of yourself, your people, your culture if you don't have the history backing it. That's just like letting a child just go out into the world without getting raised properly. You're gonna act a fool. And it shows with some of our people act in some of the ways because they weren't taught their history, they weren't taught properly. But some of that is not on the fault of them. It's just on the fault of the environment and society in which we live in. I think we continuously like try to suppress and try to make sure that we are Eurocentric and very, I say whitewashed. Let's just be honest. And so I feel like with that becomes a repeating cycle where we continue to try to fit into the white society and not know ourselves and our own natural beings of who we are. So I definitely think it's needed and it's relevant to topics. I think that, with different, even like on campus at FAM, like different institutions, like going to HBCUs, becoming a part of like different organizations that are geared towards Black success or Black excellence or whatever in, org that you're in. Um, those help you and it molds you because it's another form of education it's another form of history that you're taking on and you're interpreting and you're learning, that it makes you a better person. So
I got a quick question to ask because you hit some, boy, I love it. Have any of you been to the Black Archives since you've been on campus?
Yeah.
I went yesterday.
There you go. What you thought about it?
I liked it. A lot of history I knew already. With me being a part of so many or FAMU history, but it's not the same as seeing it in person. I've been to like a few Black history museums, like the DeSable Museum in Chicago. So a lot of stuff was just a refresher, but like seeing the Black history in this university in Tallahassee in these museums is even better to me. So I love that part of it.
Nice.
From my experience, I went during homecoming. That was my first time because every time I'd be going there, it'd be closed. But so when I went, it was like it was a refresher, kind of like what Omari said. So it was like a refresher, but it was like also I was learning some stuff I didn't know. Like I grew up in Florida all my life, and I've never seen like they have like Black babies getting eaten by alligators. I've never seen that, and because my grandmother and they're from Massachusetts, so I hear different stories from her. But it was just like I've never when I saw that I was like So it was a lot of learning within that, but also really diving into like the history of FAM, like seeing stuff like that I haven't done before and learning more than I had already known. It was a experience for sure that I think everybody, if they go to FAM, needs to experience at least once.
Yeah. So Omari, how are your peers and your the folks around you? What's the buzz about Black history? I mean, what are y'all doing as far as like, do y'all celebrate, or do you is it every day, or do you really make a big deal out of it during February?
To be transparent, it's not really celebrated in college. I feel like college is a separate world. Like it's so much stuff going on here that you really don't get the time to actually internalize what's going on. Half of the time, you're so focused on staying above water and staying afloat that sometimes you can't give the time to celebrate being Black. You live your Black excellence every day. So I think people are content with that, but also I feel like thinking in like a solution based mindset, things that we can do better is make Black History Month informative and fun. I feel like that's the only way things are successful in college. Nobody like panels are successful in college, but only to the people that want to learn more about it. If you want holistic participation, you have to make it fun and informative. And people in college love events. That's just what it is. If it's free or if it's fun, those two F's, people love
Amen.
it. Black History Month, if you incorporate, fun activities like Black History Jeopardy with a prize or something, or even if you had the colleges, partner with some of the student leaders and hold activities like that. And like Precious said, orgs, like even my org, like when she was saying that, I thought back to myself, like that's crazy. I'm a member of Progressive Black Men, events chair, and I didn't event for Black History Month, Progressive Black Man. So stuff like that should be incorporated. So I think it comes with students, trying to stay above water, students being on their own. So it's not really pushed to it. In high school, it was pushed on you. In middle school, it was pushed on you by your parents or by teachers or by your community. But now it's like everything you do, you got to take initiative. And right now, a lot of students hate school and they live there every day. Not that they don't care about it, but you gotta play the cards you're dealt.
I think that's interesting because a lot of the people we've talked about thus far, they were your age when they changed the world,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? And a lot of times with Gen Z and even younger, and even the generation before that, we kind of wait for somebody to do it for us, right? Like, okay, somebody's gonna lead me to do this, and somebody's gonna lead me to do that. And then in their generation, they said, no, this is the issue. We need to be the solution. You know, what can we do right now to make it work? And I think that mindset, once you like Ms. Johnson stated, you see the history and you understand, you're like, you know what? I could do something. You know, I'm a part of this organization. You know, we can lead the event that does blank, blank, blank. It doesn't have to be February, right?
Yeah.
We can lead this activity, and we can be the ones to not just do it on the highest of 7 Hills, but take it to other universities.
Absolutely.
It's important that you know, and I know it's not always easy, because what you said is so true. You're trying to make your own history,
right?
You know, but at the same time, knowing that you have full control of sharing that narrative is important. Mm-hmm. And this is the time where you can be the next MLK, the next Malcolm X, the next Betty Shabazz, because you have that voice, you have that power. But I don't know what it would take to spark that
initiative, tenacity.
Mm-hmm. Or do you all see the need for it? That might be another thing, because your generation is even more so removed from slavery than my generation, and even more so removed from slavery from your parents' generation. Do you all see more of the melting pot, so to speak, or are you still seeing some of the same issues? Like when we look, we still see the same issues. Like a lot of things don't seem like they've changed that much, even though they have a little bit here and there. But depending on what day it is, we like, oh my God, we've come so far. And then some days like we ain't come far enough. So are you guys feeling that? Are y'all seeing the need for a Black History Month, or for equality, or for, you know, just different things like that?
Great. You want to? Was anybody talking before I talk?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I definitely see what you're saying with the disconnect. You know, I feel like your generation was way much closer to the heat, and we kind of don't know what it feels like. You know, we're fighting a divided world now. Like, I feel like my generation, you got 20% here, 20% there, 20% there, 20% there, 20% there. And your generation was like, man, this is the problem, and this comes first, and we're gonna knock the head off this snake right now. But the way the world is and the present is right now, I feel like people kind of lost focus on what truly mattered. And also back then, I think it was more open. Like it was open oppression. You seen what was going on. A lot of people don't see what's going on. A lot of people don't care to see what's going on. As long as it's not in their face, it's not in their mind, you know. A lot of people understand that. And so not even that it's no motive, but just people are, you know, unseeing of it, ununderstanding of it. That even if you tell somebody they don't see it or experience it, it's kind of hard for them to, you know, really care and really put forth effort to it. As far as somebody that really understands and did their research and has experienced this oppression. So I think that's where the divide comes from. A lot of our generation is so shielded and so protected that they don't get to experience anything. And so that leads to like desensitization to it.
You know, I think of what's called the Cold War. So you have World War I, World War II, and you had the Cold War where they were at war, but they weren't really at war.
Yeah,
it's just a different type of fight, right? So you're fighting this fight, but it's not as clear. It's not as gory as the fights that were fought in the past. But that fight needs to be fought, right? Because it's something that the Jewish community really holds really close to their hearts. You will never forget. They'll never let you forget about the Holocaust. right?
Nope.
And every generation that comes, they remind the next generation about what they went through. And I don't know if that's something we do. So I was thinking, well, who do we hold responsible? Do we hold Gen Z responsible, or do we hold ourselves responsible? And I think all of us should be accountable to that piece where we need to remind, hey, this is the fight that we need to continue to fight, and give you guys the tools to continue to fight that fight, because you're going to be sharing this to the next generation. And now they're further removed, right? But there's some of these hidden agendas.
But you know what, man?
They don't need to know anyway. They don't want to be taught anyway.
And I was about to say that, JT. I think that there is for us always the battle not to teach it.
Yeah.
So even if you are teaching it, even if you're teaching your children, is somebody on the other side saying, "Oh, well, that didn't happen." Is somebody on the other side saying, "Well, no, it wasn't slavery; it was involuntary whatever the word they're using, or you got a whole
took a vacation."
Yeah, you got a whole legislative, uproar about teaching what happened in America,
right?
That sort of thing. So I don't think it's us not wanting or not sharing or passing the story down from generation to generation. I think it's more so of the fight of, or the head knocking of us trying to say it and somebody else trying not to get us to say it.
Yeah.
Well, again, they're going to change that history, but go ahead.
One more thing to say before you go, Precious. Another thing that I talk about in most of my psych classes, and it fueled my career choice, is the lack of Black people in the government. Like there's a population of Black people in the government, and you may consider them high roles as far as representatives and senators, but the Black people in the government are usually the Black people controlled by the government, not in the government. And people don't really understand that, like, a very controversial topic, but
no, we have this topic. We have this conversation all the time.
That's why I'm reacting like that.
Yeah, most history was recreated. Like, for example, you could tell us whatever you want to tell us about FAMU because we weren't here. And so whatever you tell us, we have to run with. If you create the document and put it in Black archives, whether it's true or not, we can't fight that. And that's what happens with the government on a larger scale. But people won't know that unless they're inside, which is one of the reasons that I want to work as a CIA agent in the CIA, study counterintelligence, which is why I study psychology. But you don't know until you're on the inside, and you can't really spread the right information, really trace it back. So I think that's another reason that we're knocking heads, because you got some people going based off of Eurocentric facts, and then you got Black people that know what happened, but they can't really explain what happened. So it kind of overshadows it.
I kind of disagree with that. They know what happened. They have the facts to what happened.
Yeah.
But people are not listening or believing what's happening. So it's really up to us to continue to be the fact checkers. So going back to your FAMU illustration, somebody could put something up and say, hey, yeah, that happened. But we need the people who say, oh, no, that's not true. This is what actually happened. And there's facts to back that up. And that's the beauty of history. There's always the facts, right? You can always go back and say, oh, yeah, that did happen. In Tulsa, they dropped that bomb. That is a fact. You can go there. You can see what happened. I mean, it's too many facts that actually happen that they can't hide. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So is this a fact? Did you see the interview with Ron DeSantis? And he I guess he explained his reasoning for not wanting to have AP Black history. Did you see the reason why?
I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
Well, he said that it was because they were trying to push an agenda of LGBTQ inside of the course, I guess.
Oh yeah, I did hear him talk about that.
You just be talking like you don't even make sense.
Like, did he just make that up?
It was a. So here's the other thing that we just get so. We get, number one, we never get the whole true story.
We get half of it, and maybe not even that.
And then the second part is, and I'm guilty of this, we don't necessarily read the document itself. So there is components of that particular class that do talk about LGBTQ and this, that, and the other. But this is a corporation that is trying to have this class so that they can make money. This not about us. It's not about telling, our truth. It's not about telling true American history. It is about the almighty dollar.
Always.
So here's the other thing too. And that's the biggest thing about the Black experience that we have to be careful of is we have to treasure it and it alone. It doesn't stand with anything else. Now, I disagree with throwing the baby away with the bathwater, because that's what DeSantis essentially did. He said, well, that was an issue. We just want to throw it all away. Well, you throwing away all of the good stuff too, because you don't agree with how certain people do X, Y, and Z. But again, even for our own community, it's important that we again honor what so many heroes and sheroes have gone through, not because of their sexual orientation, really just based off of the color of their skin. And that's truly what we need to celebrate. Again, that's what Black history is about. All of us, we cannot go into a room, any room we go to, they're gonna know you Black.
That I'm Black.
And it's important that we continue to remind. And now you can have other movements, that happen that may try to tag on to us. But at the end of the day, this is the movement that we need to hold true to, and we need to remember just as much, even more than the Holocaust. And you see how they don't let other organizations jump on their bandwagon. Now they have other things that they want to push, other agendas that they want to push, but that Holocaust, that's the cornerstone. You can't mess with that. And I think the Black experience and the Black history itself should be the same way. We need to honor that cornerstone and say, hey, we know there's other movements, women movements, men movements, this movement, that movement, but the Black movement is important, and we need to recognize it as a standalone. And I think that's the other piece. We because we want it to be recognized so much.
Everybody jumps on that bandwagon. I'm telling you, and it's such a difference of trauma. It's such a difference of oppression. To literally be stolen from your homeland.
Yep,
it's such a difference, but. It's like as soon as you say let's rally or whatever, it's all kind of everything. This matter, that matter, the other matter.
Everything matters. No, first we need to recognize Black history in itself. And again, have you guys been to DC to the Black History Museum?
I still gotta go.
Got to go.
I haven't been yet either.
Because of how they curated the experience, it really showed the Black experience.
That's good.
It's the Black, and again, I was like, wow, taken aback, because some of the people that I named earlier, you don't see, but they were naming them at the museum. Toussaint Louverture has a statue. I'm like, whoa, they got Toussaint in here. And that's huge when it comes to understanding the liberation of Black people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is the first group of people to fight and receive their freedom, and then turn around and tell everybody else you can get it too.
Yep.
You can't. How you leave that out of history?
Yeah.
You can't. And we have a system that wants to leave out details like that. But we want you to recognize the plight that we currently have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I want you to forget about everything that they've done or whoever's done, but I still want to tag on to it.
Yeah.
But I want my issue to become the new issue.
New issue.
Lead.
Right.
And again, it's important that that's why I love Black History Month.
But I too appreciated what you said, Omari, about just kind of being a college student and it's just not on the forefront of your mind. I get that. I so get that, because you all are trying to, I have this wonderful love and I can't stand y'all at the same time relationship, because I have so much compassion for your generation, because you all were exposed to so much at such a very young age. This technology, you know, y'all probably had a phone in your hand or some kind of device in your hand when as soon as you can hold something, it's like you got the bottle and the device. And the exposure that you all had without the benefit of someone helping you navigate it. So you get to look at all of this stuff, but nobody is saying, well, that might not be right for you to look at right at this moment. Mm-hmm. Because it's just like, you quiet, you out my way, you know, I'm good. And then you got to navigate all of that yourself. And that's not to say you didn't have good parents. It's just time is moving so much faster than it has before, in my opinion. But I appreciate the fact that you recognize we're just not thinking about it in that way. We're just not thinking about
it. The thing is too, Lisa, and we've all named past giants, but there's some current and future giants that are being developed right now, and that's the beauty
right here. It's Omari.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Omarion and Ms. Johnson. Omari. And Ms. Precious. You guys are literally, we're watching history right now, right? Mm-hmm. We're watching it develop, and that's the beauty of the Black experience. It doesn't stop.
Absolutely.
Right. It's an ongoing developing, just always blossoming into something extraordinary. Every time they try to stop, like, baby kids, we're gonna stop you. Nope. We
don't die.
They multiply. We multiply. And you guys are literally doing that. But in doing that, we can't forget who got us to this point.
Sure.
Right? How did I get from point A to point B? And then how am I going to get from point B to point Z? And then how am I going to help my next generation move beyond that? But the work that you're doing in the classroom right now, that's going to be the movies that are going to be made for the future. Does that make sense?
Precious, the movies.
So, you know, it's like, yeah, we can watch another movie about MLK, but they're going to be movies where you're going to be talking about some of the current people who are making some strides, who are doing things extraordinary to make a difference for the community. And again, that's what you guys are doing right now. So the other piece that I wanted to share, and that's why I threw some of those names out. There are a few that I wanted to throw out. I did not name yet. Dr. Naeem Akbar is one. One of my other guys, math professor extraordinaire, Dr. Osafil Anderson. longtime math professor at FAMU. You know, these are like key people that we kind of don't put in like, oh, the big marks, but they've made such a big difference. Going back to MLK and all of the secretaries from all of the different Baptist churches that he went to. There's a movie that should be made about just that. Like, if they were not communicating,
or even FAMU having a hospital. I mean,
correct. It's that type of history that's actually being conveyed to us right now in the classroom. The student that's doing what they need to do might be the next person to create the next medicine or the next procedure, or like, you know, the next president, senator, governor. We don't know. It's right here at FAMU.
Did y'all? I gotta ask them that. Did y'all know? Both of you? Did y'all know that Foot Hillier was the hospital? Was a former?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
You know, we almost made history, and I know I'm gonna bring up a little FAMU history with the governor. We almost had a FAMU in as the governor of Florida. That close. Close. But guess what? It didn't work. But it taught us that we can get there. It taught us that, you know what? We need to be right. We need to be focused. We need to move with the agenda of helping people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just start with the work that we do. It's also the work that we do on ourselves.
That's true.
In our family, in our homes, because that might be what takes us over the top to say, okay, FAMU produced the first Black governor in the state of Florida. And it really could start right here, right now.
Omari.
I was just saying we might have one in the future, man. Rattlers got that power.
And you might be the one.
They do.
You might be the one. If you haven't watched The Matrix.
Oh, I seen them, all of them, all four.
I watched the movie.
One of them, but I hadn't watched all of them.
What about you, Precious?
It was
You're a filmmaker. You gotta watch films. You gotta watch as much films. The thing that I liked about it is the red pill and the blue pill.
Oh, I saw that part. Okay, I know that part.
Oh, of course you saw that part.
The red pill and the blue pill, you get to choose the destiny that you want to choose. You get to create the destiny that you want to create. And again, it's important that we stress that this month, that we get to design that future. If those young students from all of the HBCUs, I'm talking about FAMU, TSU, Fisk, these are college students that said, no, we're going to stand up to this. If they did not do that, we wouldn't be here today.
Absolutely.
So they literally changed the future by taking the pill and saying, hey, this is how we're going to move. And I truly do believe this generation has that power. We saw it with Black Lives Matter.
Well,
that summer was
those
crazy.
might have been millennials, not necessarily Gen Z.
Yeah, but the main
we were
message
still around a little bit.
Yeah, we were in there though.
I was finna say y'all was babies.
No, probably teenagers.
We was in like high school.
Teenagers. Baby. That's a baby.
That's not a baby. That's when it starts.
Yeah.
Teenagers. That's when it starts. And I think that movement shared and showed the true power of collaboration.
Oh, absolutely.
But we could take it so much further. And I want this.
But it is to me gonna take a collective in trying to bridge the gap. So trying to bridge the generation gap, trying to unify the Gen Z with Gen X, with millennials, and we move it forward in that way. So we take the ideas and try to mesh them together, which is what I really thought was going to happen had they not killed a Malcolm X and a MLK. They would have came to the table and reasoned together. You kind of saw it. You saw it kind of happening.
Well, I saw more of a difference. I saw them building their own table.
Sure.
And that's what I think.
Yeah, but I really believe they would have came to the table and reasoned together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So look, this has been Kitchen Talk. Friends come late and make us stay late and just all kind of stuff.
Across.
I love it.
I want to thank you, Precious and Omari, for joining us.
Of course.
Great talk.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys so much. This has been Kitchen Talk CTC.
Conversations that
is what they do. That is what they do. Listen, if you are watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss another show. Make sure you turn on your notifications. If you're watching us on Facebook, hit the like button so you'll never miss another show. This has been great show. I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with us. It is Kitchen Talk CTC.
Conversations that cook.
That is what they do. Listen, we're gonna be back here next week, same time, same YouTube channel, same Facebook channel, and we're gonna see you guys then. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Omari. Thank you, friends. Thank you, JT. Listen, good night, and good night.
Good night.
Remember what I said.
Let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen Talk. Let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen Talk. Let's talk. Conversations that could. Kitchen Talk. Let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen Talk. Let's talk. Conversations that could. Let's talk.